I'm excited today. Well, let me get settled. I'm excited today because this morning when I was just waking up, I thought of a story that I had not thought of for years. And it's such a great story. And it was a story that I read in a magazine, but I later, I believed it, but it was so hard to believe. But then about 10 years after that, I read it about maybe 20 years ago, but then about 10 years after that, there was a show on TV, I think it was on TBS, called It's a Miracle. And they reenacted that same story on that show. And so I just knew, it was just confirmation that it was true. But anyway, it's a story about Thanksgiving. And even though we're a long way away from Thanksgiving, every day should be Thanksgiving, and we should, I think that this story it increased my faith. It really helped me to believe, and so I'm going to tell it. But before I do, I want to say that I was wrong about Jeff Rain. It was not Jeff Rain. I still don't know how to pronounce it. She tried to explain to me, but I think it is, I thought it was two names, Jeff Rain, but I think it's one name, and it is, I think, and she's not a man, she's a girl. I forget how old she is, but anyway, and she lives in Tunisia, and it is, I think, Gulfrun, or something like that. Anyway, sorry, I wish I could do it right. But so I lost that one. If anybody else has any challenging names that they think that I'll mess up, let me know. But anyway, so let me get back to the story, and if there's noise starts outside, it's because they are power cleaning with water the outside of our building, and so they let us know, so it might start up. Okay, anyway, let me get to it. Okay, help me. I want to do it right because it was such a great story. Okay, there was, and if I get it wrong, and if somebody knows the right story, I'm sorry, and if I get some of the details wrong, okay. But the way I remember it is, there was a young mother with two little children. I think that there were two little boys. And it was Thanksgiving. It was going to be Thanksgiving, or she woke up and it was Thanksgiving. And I think that she was either newly divorced or a widow or whatever, but she had hardly any money. She didn't have pretty much any money for her little boys, but she wanted to give them a good Thanksgiving. And so she didn't know what she was going to do, and all she had in her house was like hot dogs and buns. And so she made up a real big, she made herself seem real excited to the boys and said, we're going to do something special. We're going to go to the park and have a little barbecue with the hot dogs and everything to make it seem like it was really special. But anyway, and so she lived in an apartment building. I think she was on like the second floor, and it was like an outside, you walk outside to go down to the bottom. And as they were going downstairs, all of a sudden, this little old lady poked her head out of the door, of one of the doors on the bottom floor, and said, "Hello, dear," or something like that. She said, I feel so kind of lonely, and I was missing having company, and I missed the old days, so I made myself a huge Thanksgiving dinner, but I've got no one to share it with. And she said, would you mind sharing my Thanksgiving meal with me and keeping me company? And so the mother and the two little boys came in, and it was beautiful. It was a little apartment, but it was warmly decorated, like a little old lady would decorate it, but this little old lady had done the whole works. She had all the American, for those of you who are not American, the American Thanksgiving consists of a big turkey and mashed potatoes, and maybe some people have Brussels sprouts, some have green bean casserole that has like a special like mushroom cream sauce. It's hard to explain. And then there is sometimes sweet potatoes, and then there's pumpkin pie for dessert, or cherry pie, or it's a wonderful, wonderful meal. But anyway, so then, of course, there's also stuffing and gravy, and it's just really, really, really good. At least most Americans love it. Okay, so anyway, so the kids and her came in for this fantastic Thanksgiving dinner, and there was so much food that she sent them home with a big, container full of leftovers. Well, the next day she got up, she washed out, they used up the leftovers, and she washed the container and everything. And she went downstairs to return the container to the old lady. And guess what? I know you probably already guessed it. She peeked in the window, or she knocked on the door, I think something, and nobody answered. Then she peeked in the window, scared what she was going to find, maybe the old lady had died. And it was a vacant apartment, completely vacant. And it must have been an angel in disguise. And I know that you might not believe it, but I saw it. First I read it in the magazine, and it gave me so much faith, and it was so beautiful. And then later on I saw it on this show, and I really think it happened. So isn't that amazing? So, take courage and just trust God, and He has His ways that are beyond what we can imagine. But anyway, to bless us and to provide for us. But anyway, since we're talking Thanksgiving, I might as well tell what happened our first Thanksgiving in New Mexico. Okay, by that time, we had made friends with this girl and her family. Remember, I think I told you guys that, and remember, for those of you that don't know, we had nothing. We had, we had received several miracles of dogs providing for us and everything, but we had, and the miracle I told last time of money coming in, that we were able to pay our debt and everything, but still, from day to day, we didn't have much. Okay, so then we had made friends with this family, because this girl had been sick, almost dying, very, very, very sick, this young mother with an infection from the operation of her cesarean or something. She had a deep infection in her, and then we prayed, and then God healed her. And so through that, we had become really close friends with this family, and they also lived with, it was hard for them to make ends meet, just like it was hard for us to make ends meet. And they lived in a trailer. Since then, God has provided for them so nicely. I mean, they had a very rundown trailer, but they were people of faith. That trailer had come to them by faith. And then later on, the mother of the whole family, she was so consistently believing God for things and seeing Him provide for her. She had raised these kids on her own and everything, but anyway, and now they were all young adults, and she was taking care of her grandchildren, but anyway, since then she had a provision of a beautiful trailer, but back then their trailer was very kind of crickety and falling apart, a trailer that they lived in. And they didn't have much money, but our first Thanksgiving there, they invited us to come to their home, and we all pooled together, and we were able to stir up enough money to buy two, we counted our pennies, and were able to buy two roasted chickens that were already cooked. And then, because we didn't have money for a big turkey or the means to make it, And then somebody else of their family, because she had a bunch of young adults there, somebody came with corn, somebody came with potatoes, a box of potatoes, somebody was able to go and buy a cherry pie or something, and we all pulled together, and it was a beautiful Thanksgiving. We were so grateful for that meal. I think I've never been so grateful for a Thanksgiving meal as I was for that one, because there was so much love and pooling together with you know, just limited resources. But anyway, so there you go. That's all I've got for today, and I love you guys. Bye-bye.